Okay, so a couple of days ago we did this card, which was the double concertina bridge fold card. So as you remember, we cut sections off here and here. So today we're going to use those sections and we're going to make a frilled barn card. Now this is a 4x6, so it's a bit smaller, but it makes use of those two pieces that we cut off. If you haven't made this card, don't worry. I tell you in the video how you can make this, you know, just this on its own. You don't have to have made this first. It's just if you've already made this one, you end up with two pieces left over. So this then uses up the two pieces you've left over. Okay, so one thing I need to mention as well with this, I've used papers from first edition. In the video, I forget to cut the pattern paper and the base card out. I actually stick the pattern paper down first. So when you're watching the video, just bear that in mind. Don't craft along with me, whatever you do. Watch it first, watch it through first, and then you'll see the mistake I've made, and then you can do it differently. Because this is why I have this shiny silver bit at the top and also on the back, because I made the mistake of sticking the pattern down first and the plain bit down first before I'd cut my shape. Okay, so just bear that in mind. Yeah, so you'll see in the video anyway, it'll all become, you know, self-explanatory. So the papers I used on this card were the Arctic Wonder pack from first edition, so it's quite cute. And then I've just used this silver card base, which I've already got in my stash. The die, I think, is a Spellbinders die. I can't remember. If I can find a link for it, I'll put it down below. I know it's quite an old one. And I'll just use white, obviously white card for the back, and then foil for the joy, and then just added glitter and some Nova fabric paint for the middle of the flowers. But yeah, so that is the card for today. So this follows on from the video I just uploaded a couple of days ago, which was this one. So I just thought, let me do this one now. Although it looks similar, it's not the same card, and it uses up those scraps. I thought I'd just do them in the same weekend, and then that way, if you have made this card, you can just follow straight onto this one. But yeah, so anyway, so let's get started. Okay, so for this card, you're either going to need the leftovers from that previous card that I just showed you, or you're going to need one other piece as well. So I'm going to take you through what you will need. So if we start with, I've stuck some of my bits down. You're going to need two pieces of base card that are 4x6. And then you're going to need one piece of white card. Mine isn't white, but it's just plain. Just something you can write on to put your message on. And this is 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. So that is that. You are also going to need another piece, which is pattern, which is the same. 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. And that's going to go on there like that. So I'm going to go ahead and just stick this down first of all. Okay, so you should end up with that. Obviously, if you want to do a mat as well, you can, but it does end up quite thick. So especially with this card's about 350 GSM, my base, and this is 200, I think, 200 GSM. So it ends up too much if you're going to put a mat as well. So then what you need is, you're going to need either your cutty off pieces from your previous card. So these are the bits that you've actually cut off. So when I made, obviously, it wasn't this card, but a similar card to this, I did it out the silver. In fact, I think it was the one that I used, the Winter Wonderland. I can't remember. Yeah. Anyway, the Dovecraft blue and silver papers. I haven't got it to hand, but this was another similar one. So on the bit of card that you had, the bit that you cut off here, this section here, that is what you're going to need. If you're doing this on its own and you haven't made that other card, then what you need is you just need to get a piece that is 5 inches by 6 inches. If I turn that around, you can see. So 5 inches tall, sorry, 6 inches tall, 5 inches wide. And all you're going to do is you're going to score at 1 1/4, 2 1/2, and 3 3/4. Once you've done that, you're just going to cut it diagonally from the bottom left up to the top right, like that. And obviously this is your base card, so it doesn't matter, it's double-sided. It needs to be double-sided. If you've got base card that's got a colour on one side and it's white on the other, that's not going to work. You're going to need to have something that is double-sided, because what's going to happen is that is going to flip over, so then you've got opposite triangles. Okay, so what we need to do with these, we just need to go ahead, once you've scored them, you need to go ahead and fold them. And what we're going to do is we're going to go with valley, mountain, valley fold. So you end up with that, two little kind of frill pieces. Now this piece does go in, so on the other card it goes out, but on this one it does come in. If you want to, you can do it the way around, but it's just the way that I found the best way of doing it. So then what we want to do is we are going to go ahead and actually, what I should have done this before. So what we need to do is we're going to cut off the corners here. Now I should have done this before I stuck my pattern and my plain piece down, but I forgot to do it, so we're going to do it now. It just means you won't have a border along that top. So what happens is this is going to stick on like that. So you're going to stick this onto the back of your patterned piece, and then what we're going to do along the back there is we're just going to trim off there. And what I think I'll probably end up doing, because I've forgotten to do this, because you need to cut your pattern piece down the same as your base card. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick this down, and then we're going to trim it, and then we will work out what we're going to do for that border. Okay, so that's that side stuck down. I'm going to do the same on the other side. So this is going to go on the back there like that. So if you want, you can leave it like that, but I quite like the barn kind of look of it being angled. So we're going to turn this over, and this is going to mean obviously that I'm going to have a bit of a problem. I'm actually going to cut it with a Stanley knife and rule, because I think because of the thickness I've got going on there, I think I'm going to risk having an uneven edge if I don't do it this way. So I'm just going to get my ruler, stick that along that edge, and then we're just going to trim that off. And then we're just left with these little pointy bits. Now on my other card that I didn't end up with these pointy bits, but anyway, I have on this one. So we're just going to trim those off. There we go. So there you've got your barn kind of looking shape. Now obviously I haven't got a border here, so what I might do, I might just leave it, or I might put something around there. I'm not sure if I might just put something along there, along there, and along there, like if I've got any kind of silver tape or something. I'm not sure. I would like it to have the border. Yeah, I'll probably put a border on, I think. So obviously if you are doing it properly, the best way of doing it is to stick your base together first, then cut your edges, and then you can then cut this middle bit accordingly. So what I would do is lay your pattern on, draw a line where the edge of the card comes, and then just bring it in with a ruler the same distance as you've got here. So like whatever that is, about 1/8 of an inch, or yeah, about 1/8 of an inch, and the same on this side. So that's what I would do, and that's what I did, I think, on my little sample that I made. Right, so now we've done that, we can go ahead, and on the back we're going to stick this one. And again here with this piece you need to do exactly the same as you've done with this. So you need to stick this base down first, cut it, and then sort out your plain piece and cut it. So again, follow exactly the same as you've done here, and I have forgotten to do that. The reason why we're sticking that on top of there is just to hide these big wings, and also just to make it a bit more sturdy. So if you're using thinner card, that just makes it a bit more sturdy. So I'm going to go ahead now and stick this down. Okay, so I've stuck that down, and again I'm just going to cut off these corners that you can see. Okay, so you should end up with that, and again I should have a border all the way around, but I haven't because I've forgotten to do it properly. So I am going to add something on after, I think, to make a kind of border, to make like the roof. So I will be doing that shortly. So in the meantime, we just need to decorate up these frilled pieces. Now I've chosen just to decorate this one, this bit here, and this bit here. So I have chosen, and I've gone with pretty much the same paper again. So we've got two pieces that are 1 inch by 4 1/8. And what you want to do on the back is you want to, now I'm going to measure it, I'm going to draw it, and then just see how accurate it is, because it might be you want to do it by eye. So I've worked out that I reckon it's at 1 1/4. So you want to measure down one side 1 1/4, and then draw a line from the top corner down to that 1 1/4 line. Now I'm just going to lay this on and just see if that is accurate, and it does look accurate, so that's good. Okay, so that's your measurement then, 1 1/4. So when you do the other side, just make sure you're doing the opposite way. Just make sure you've got 1 1/4 going one way, and then 1 1/4 going the other way. So you've got that like that. The other thing as well is if you're not going to glue it, then I would put tape on now. And I'm actually going to do tape because I think that it just works out a little bit easier. Because then when you cut it, you're already sorted for, you haven't got to worry about, you know, triangles and corners and the rest of it. Okay, so I've done my tape. Now I'm just going to cut down that diagonal line, and also on this side. And then those will then fit on here like that. So I'm going to go ahead and stick those down. Okay, so you end up with that. So then here, the pieces you need for this, you need 2 pieces that are 1 inch by 2 5/8. And once again, you want to do exactly the same again. So you just want to measure from the top right down this side, 1 1/4, and the same on that one. Okay, so then we just go ahead and we're going to stick these down into position. And then last of all, you've got 2 little pieces of pattern paper that are 1 inch by 1 1/4. So obviously because they're 1 1/4, you're literally just going to go straight from the top of one corner down to the bottom, because that already is 1 1/4. So we're literally going to cut them in half. Now you're probably thinking, why can we not just use that half on the other side? Well, the reason is because it's not going to work. So if I turn that round, that's going from that way to that way, which is this piece here, but this one is the same way round. So what you need to make sure you do is whatever you use, just make sure that your other line goes the opposite direction. Okay, so just make sure you've got one piece that goes one way and one piece that goes the other way. If you want to work it out, so you cut it you have one strip and you just cut it in half diagonally, you can do that. But I don't know how that would work because the way you've got to angle it the opposite way. Or if you've got double-sided pattern paper would work, as long as it's the same pattern on both sides. That's another way of doing it. But yeah, just make sure that you're definitely you know, doing it so you've got opposite way round. So we're going to go ahead now, I'm going to add some tape, and then I'm going to stick it onto these little sections here. Okay, so you should end up with that. So I'm just going to go ahead now and just add my little border that I want around here. And then we're going to add, I've got this joy die, which is going to go in the middle there, like that. And obviously if you wanted to, you could have things popping off here. You could do all sorts with it. So I'm just going to go ahead now and add my borders front and back, and then I am going to stick that joy sentiment down. Okay, so I found this this stuff. It's actually sticky vinyl. It's like foil. It's from years ago. I don't even know what brand this is. Mirror foil, or mirror foil. 6 sheets self-adhesive mirror foil, 6 sheets of silver and 6 sheets of gold. GG product. I have no idea. Anyway, I found that, so I'm using it. So I have no idea where you get that from. So what I've done is I've just literally, so if you've got mirror card, you could do the same with that. So I've literally just placed this onto my sheet, which miraculously is exactly the right width. And then I've just drawn round, so I've placed it along the top and the sides. I've just drawn the diagonals like that. And then I've just brought it in with a ruler, brought it in and just a fraction, it's a bit bigger than the border I want, but it's because I wanted to have like an actual, like a roof almost. So I've just brought it in, drawn my line, I've cut one out, and then I've just brought this in, placed it on top like that, and then I've just drawn around it again underneath. So that saves me doing it twice. So I'm now going to cut this out, and then I'm going to stick this down. Okay, so I've done the roof bit. I'm not that happy with it, but it's better than how it was. So we're just going to go with it. It's fine. I think once you've got this on, you're not really going to, you know, it's not that obvious, so it's fine. Same on the back. Again, it's not great, but it's just, I just thought roof of the barn. That's what I thought. Right, so I'm going to go ahead now and stick this joy die on. I can't remember where I got this from. I think it's a Spellbinders die that I got a while ago. I think it is still available, and I have a feeling I got mine in a magazine, or I might have got it online. I can't really remember. But anyway, I've just cut it out of white, and then I've cut the joy letters out of Silver Mirri. Then I've just used those Nova fabric paints that I showed, the glitter ones, and I've just put little dots in the middle of the flowers because they are actually suitable for paper as well. And then I've just, once that's dried, left that 24 hours just to dry. And then what I did was I just coated all of the leaves, anywhere there's a leaf, I've coated, just put a little bit of Anita's tacky glue on. And then I've just sprinkled some glitter on, tapped off the excess and left it to dry, and I'm really pleased with how it's turned out. So all of those leafy bits around the outside are all sparkly, the flowers are just plain white, and the inside is just plain white, but it works really well. I'm quite impressed with that. So we're just going to go ahead now, I'm going to add some silicone glue onto this, and we're going to stick it down. So there's your finished card. So it's sort of like a barn door kind of thing. Obviously if you remember to do your border at the top, it looks a whole lot more effective. But yes, it's just quite cute. It's 4x6, a finished card. Obviously it folds down flat. I'm not going to fold it completely because that glue hasn't stuck. It folds down flat like that, fits in an envelope for a 4x6 card. Got space on the back to write. So yeah, so that's the card for today. So I hope you liked it. Obviously go and check up drkcrafts.co.uk. They have got, well they did have, I don't know if they've still got any left, but they definitely had this Arctic Christmas, I think it's called, Arctic Christmas. I'll put it on the screen anyway. It'll definitely be in the description below. If this paper pack was on there, and so that's where I got the penguins and the snowflakes from. So yeah, so I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss a video, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.